This week on Premier Preps, we've got a playoff-heavy episode, which includes first-round football action between Woodcreek and Armijo, plus bracket updates across the Sac-Joaquin section, plus section finals highlights from both flag football and girls volleyball. You're watching a championship episode of Premier Preps. Welcome to a championship episode of Premier Preps. I'm your host, Nick Pecoraro. Thank you, as always, for showing up and hanging out with us. Hey, speaking of championships, Premier Preps is sponsored by Premier Championship Rings. It's championship season, and my friend Bob Sebring has been in the business for more than 3 decades, helping design and craft some incredible jewelry for dozens of championship teams right here in the Sac-Joaquin section. You can check out what I'm talking about by visiting premiergradproducts.com, which also happens to be your source for all your graduation necessities. Caps, gowns, tassels, announcements, and much more, including your custom championship bling from Premier Championship Rings, an official sponsor of Premier Preps. We kick off this week's show with the Sac-Joaquin section playoff opener between 8th-seeded Woodcreek, who's made 4 straight years of reaching the postseason, and 9th-seeded Armijo out of Fairfield, who, get this, is making the first playoff appearance in school history. The section playoffs have been around since the early 70s, and this is the first time it will have Armijo as part of the field. So you know the Royals were coming in with something to prove against the Timberwolves on Friday. Quite possibly the best entrance in the section, Woodcreek coming out with the Hogs. But Armijo's in town for its first ever playoff game in school history. Congrats to the Royals. And they would come out firing. First quarter, QB Willie Nixon heaves it downfield. On the first play of the game, he finds TJ Harrell for a huge gain. Nothing doing on this drive though, but a couple drives later, the Royals strike first. Nixon flushed out, rolling right, looking for somebody, anybody. Finally, he finds sophomore Corey Choice in the back of the end zone, and that's a great choice, and Armijo's up 6-0. But on the ensuing kickoff, Tanner McSweeney makes him pay. He starts running as fast as he possibly can. A bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him. McSweeney goes 91 yards and puts Woodcreek in front 7-6. The Timberwolves were just getting warmed up. Here's Keegan Nitterhouse with a 12-yard score, and he's followed up by Trace Murchison, who hasn't played in a few weeks with an injury. You wouldn't be able to tell by this run. Woodcreek leads 21-6 after 1. Murchison was playing a little D too. Check out this interception. He somehow comes down with it for his second pick of the night, and Woodcreek is rolling, especially after this play. Woodcreek starts the drive at its own 10, and what do you need for a house call? Well, the guy with the word house in his name, of course. Keegan Nitterhouse rushed for more than 200 yards in the first half alone on Friday. 42 unanswered points for the Timberwolves, but Armijo is trying to keep it close. Willie Nixon finds TJ Harrell for a 5-yard score. It's 42-12 at halftime. But on the first play of the third quarter, Woodcreek's Jack Torrey wants to get in on the fun. A 65-yard score. Congrats to Armijo for making school history. But it's Woodcreek who's moving on to the next round.
Just like our whole mental state. Practice was great all week. Linemen got their stuff together, and everyone did a great job. Having the opportunity for someone to believe in us and say it's crazy how you guys are in there 4-6 going in the playoff game. How do you guys feel? It's just a great feeling. Dogs.
And we so dogs! Let's go! Let's go!
Let's take a look at what's going on around the Sac-Joaquin section playoff picture and who's making a championship run in the race for the ring presented by Premier Championship Rings. We start in Division 1. Folsom, the top dogs, await Downey, who beat Edison in a barn burner Friday. Inderkum and Granite Bay is a whopper of a quarterfinal. And on the bottom half of the bracket, Central Catholic hosts Turlock in a tremendous 209 battle, while Oak Ridge hosts Monterey Trail. Bangers all around in D1. In Division 2, top-seeded Rockland will host Elk Grove, while Rodriguez looks to keep its unbeaten season going at Manteca. On the other side, we've got Grant vying for a Section 3-peat. The Pacers have Jesuit looking to spoil the party, while Vacaville travels to number 2 St. Mary's. You just saw Woodcreek take down Armijo. The Timberwolves now get top-seeded Oakdale this Friday, while Destiny Christian takes on Christian Brothers. And in the bottom half, Vanden hosts Vista del Lago and West Park hosts Merced. To the D4 bracket, unbeaten 12 Bridges hosts number 9 Sierra, while Escalon and Placer do battle in Auburn in the 4-5 matchup. The number 3 Roseville Tigers play host to Del Campo on Friday, while Patterson hosts number 10 East Union. The D5 bracket features top-seeded Houston. QB Robert McDaniel and company will host El Dorado, while defending D5 section champ Casa Roble heads to Union Mine in the quarters. Lathrop and Hillmar throw down in the 209, while the GEL champion Sutter Huskies host Oakmont in the 2-7 game. On to D6 now. Bradshaw Christian looks to stay unbeaten as the Pride hosts Ripon Christian, who seems to be getting hot at the right time, and Oristimba travels to Linden in the 4-5 game. In the bottom half of D6, Sonora hosts the highest remaining seed in the playoffs, the 11th seeded Calaveras Redhawks, who knocked off Wheatland in the first round. Liberty Ranch heads to Woodland Christian as well. And finally in D7, very heavy on the south and far western portions of the section, top seed Somerville hosts Gustine, while Big Valley Christian heads to Waterford in the top half, and the Elite Eagles out of Vallejo host Rio Vista, while Denair takes on Stone Ridge Christian out of Merced. Almost all of our Premier Preps top 10 football teams earned first-round byes in the playoffs, so this week's top 10 remains relatively unchanged for now. Here's a look at who we've got before the second round of the postseason continues this week. We've got championship flag football on deck with the Division 4 final kicking off the festivities Saturday at Cosumnes River College. Top-seeded Colfax is one of 3 remaining unbeaten teams in the section. The Falcons would put their 15-0 mark on the line against the 7th-seeded Houston Huskies out of the TVL. The Huskies and the Falcons for all the marbles Saturday morning. The D4 final kicking things off on the flag football field Saturday. The 7th-seeded Houston Huskies looking to take down top-seeded and unbeaten Colfax. Here we go. First quarter, the Huskies come out a-barking. Check out Presley Wells with the good hands. Leah Hobby with the touchdown pass, and it's 6-0 Houston. On Colfax's first drive, Houston takes it right back, though, as Peyton Avila corrals the interception, and her defensive efforts would be rewarded a couple drives later. Avila takes the touchdown pass from Leah Hobby, and the Huskies led 19-0 in the first half. Colfax trying to get something going before halftime. Kaylee Foray rolls right and hits Kaya Diedrichs for a 9-yard score to get the Falcons on the board, 19-6 at the break. If Colfax can get a score to open the third, we might have a ball game here. Foray heaves one downfield for Maya Smiley. A huge pickup gets the Falcons within striking distance, but the Huskies would turn up the D. Foray looking for a receiver, but it's Presley Wells with the interception. She was all over the field for Houston on Saturday, and she gets her team set to go for the dagger. And it would be a thing of beauty. Leah Hobby to Wells in stride for a 42-yard score. Those two have hooked up 29 times for scores this year, none bigger than that one, and no win was bigger than this one for the Huskies, who win it all as a 7th seed in Division 4.
Even though we were lower than what we thought and we came out the best we can, we fought to show everyone that we are the first seed out of all the teams, and that just because we're a small school doesn't mean we can't come and win.
It was nice on Saturday having all 10 Sac-Joaquin Section championship games for volleyball and flag football at Cosumnes River College. Your boy was bouncing around from the field to the gym and back again all day long. But the first volleyball final we got to see was this D4 banger between top-seeded Ripon and second-seeded Liberty Ranch. Ripon has been in the section finals for 3 straight years, while the Hawks reached the title game for the first time in school history. Neither team was willing to budge on Saturday. Ripon, Liberty Ranch for the D4 championship. Liberty Ranch making program history with 34 wins and its first section finals appearance. Ripon's been there a time or two, 14 times to be exact. The D4 title at stake, and the Hawks get out to a swinging start thanks to the program's all-time leader in kills, Peyton Snow. But Ripon responds early and often as Adriana Dorn hammers one home, and the Tribe would take set 1 25-13. Switching sides for set 2 now, Caitlin Budgetti with a nice back set to Jory Eskis for the southpaw smash. The Hawks answer back though with Rachel Smith. They call her the cheat code at Liberty Ranch. But again, it was too much Ripon in the second as Jory Eskis once again. This is not an instant replay from the previous hit. Ripon takes set 2 and puts Liberty Ranch on the ropes. But the Hawks come out firing in the third. Rachel Smith puts it away like only she can. And then Peyton Snow saves it, gets it right back off the feed from Lily Pittman, and the Hawks are building some steam here. But like a cheat sheet in an open note test, Ripon had all the answers on Saturday. Adriana Dorn says, "Excuse me while I kiss the sky." Liberty Ranch making one last push. Haley Smith from Gabby Aravalo gets the job done. And then a big block at the net from Savannah Lethbridge. And we're all knotted up at 21 apiece in the third. But Ripon just rips away the title as senior Shayla McKeon puts the finishing touches on the Tribe's 6th Sac-Joaquin Section championship. It's the second in the past 3 seasons for the Indians. Want to get your student section featured on Premier Preps? Well, all you got to do is tag me on social media and you can be the next Premier Student Section of the week. Send me a 10 to 15 second clip of your student section to see if we can get you a spot on the show. This week, it goes to El Camino High School, who helped their Eagles volleyball team win a 5-set thriller over Sutter in the regular season finale a couple weeks ago. How could I pass up this crowd? El Camino, you are this week's Premier Student Section of the Week. You know that feeling when you win it all? When you become a champion. Now you can celebrate like a champion with Premier Championship rings. Bob Sebring has designed custom championship bling for more than 30 years and has been the trusted source for crafting priceless jewelry that tells the story of your team's championship journey. From football in the fall to baseball in the spring and everything in between, Premier Championship Rings has designed rings for dozens of local high school programs and even at the collegiate, pro, and youth levels as well. Whether it's a section, regional, or state title, Premier Championship Rings has you covered. So when your team wins the big game, you know what time it is. That's right, it's time to put a ring on it. Celebrate like a champion with Premier Championship Rings, the choice of champions. We go to the Division II Championship flag football game where CVC rivals Woodcreek and Ponderosa threw down for the 3rd time this year. Pondo's trying to complete the perfect 25-0 season behind star QB Brooklyn Nordquist, but her counterpart Izzy Devereaux and the Timberwolves are trying to rebound from a section finals loss a year ago. This one had banger written all over it, Woodcreek and Pondo for the D2 crown. Woodcreek in the section finals for the second straight year, looking to exercise some demons, but Ponderosa's trying to finish the season unbeaten. Here we go. Pondo's first drive, Brooklyn Nordquist finds Molly McFarland for a 7-0 lead, but Woodcreek QB Izzy Devereaux ain't gonna take that lion down. A 6-yard QB keeper makes it 7-6. But on Pondo's next possession, Nordquist finds McFarland again. If they weren't already besties, they are now. Pondo leads 14-6. By the way, if you haven't heard about Brooklyn Nordquist by now, that's your bad. Here she is with the pick, and Pondo coach Steve Montoya has a PSA for you.
Player of the year right there.
I'm not going to argue with that. Woodcreek trying to answer, though, as Devereaux finds Natasha Jensen for a short score to make it 14-12. But the Bruins close the half strong. Nordquist, she's so good at buying herself time. She finds a wide-open Ellie Escobar in the end zone. Pondo leads 21-12 at the break. They would tack on another touchdown early in the second half, but Woodcreek brings it to a one-score game as Devereaux once again finds Natasha Jensen to make it 28-20, but the Bruins aren't about to let a perfect season slip through their bear claws. Nordquist to McFarland for the fourth time on Saturday. 6 touchdown passes for Nordquist as Ponderosa goes 25-0 and finishes the season as the only unbeaten team in the Sac-Joaquin section.
It feels amazing. We had something to prove. Everyone doubted us because it's our first year, but we knew we could do it. I'm going to be honest with you, I had a dream about taking a knee at the end of the game, and it came true, and I'm so proud of just everyone.
Playing for a team where we've never had a season before and coming out and winning every single game we played with, the best coaches we could ask for and the best teammates we could ask for. And I really give it to my team and I give it to my coaches. And the bond that we made in just one season was really great, and I'm just super proud of everyone.
Premier Championship Rings has got you covered for custom bling this championship season. All 4 Sac-Joaquin Section champions have been crowned. Hey, if you're one of those championship teams, you make sure to check out PremierGradProducts.com and celebrate like a champion with Premier Championship Rings, who helps bring us the race for the ring. We start in Division 1, where the Del Oro Golden Eagles go back-to-back and become the first flag football team to win multiple Sac-Joaquin Section titles, defeating Oak Ridge in the finals. To Division 2, we showed you the Ponderosa Bruins complete the perfect season at 25-0, taking down the Woodcreek Timberwolves in the championship game. What a season for the Bruins. The Division 3 title goes to Del Campo, who takes down a juggernaut in Livingston, who was 28-0 entering the finals. The Cougars bringing their first blue banner home to Fair Oaks. And in D4, you just saw highlights from the 7th-seeded Houston Huskies finishing their Cinderella run and taking down 15-0 Colfax. Never underestimate a TVL team in the playoffs. Congratulations to all flag football teams for another tremendous season, and to those who won on Saturday, ladies, it's time to put a ring on it. Visit PremierGradProducts.com and celebrate like a champion with Premier Championship Rings, the choice of champions. Well, now that the flag football season is officially over, we've got only one more flag football big picture top 10 presented by LENIE'S Pictures, which is your source for custom team and individual banners, festive yard signs, and much more. Visit LENIE'Spictures.com to order your memorabilia and book your personalized photo shoots. But for now, check out the final flag football big picture top 10 presented by LENI'S Pictures. Rockland Thunder has been the top team in our Premier Preps volleyball rankings pretty much since the start of September. At 37-4, Rockland has looked like the team to beat all year long, but there was one problem. St. Mary's came into Saturday's Division I final looking to remind the Thunder that it was the Green Machine that hoisted the D1 banner last year. And the Rams and the Thunder in a section championship rematch in Saturday night's main event.
Does it get much better than a section championship rematch? I don't think so. Rockland and St. Mary's Part 2. So much action in this one that we picked things up in the third set. We're all tied up at 1 game apiece. And Alyssa Woody comes through with a big swing for the Rams. But Rockland responds as Riley Hines says try to catch up with this. She goes double tap to keep the Thunder within striking distance. But the third would end with some defense from McKenna McIntosh. She says, And the Rams go up 2-1 with a 25-23 win. But Rockland's trying to hold down that number 1 seed as Gianna Bogan is too hot to handle right here. But St. Mary's has an answer in senior Sanaya Hunt. 9 kills on the night for Sanaya. But something possessed McKenna McIntosh in the fourth. Look at how high she gets. She had 13 kills in the fourth set alone. But Rockland is able to push it to 5. And in the fifth, Kaylee Marashi, the freshman, making an impact in the finals. And then Bianca Sloan with the block and Gianna Bogan with the finish. Rockland keeping it tight in the fifth until McKenna McIntosh gets loose. You can almost hear the ricochet on that one. St. Mary's now with match point, and who else but McKenna McIntosh. 38 kills on the night as the Rams hoist back-to-back section championships.
I think our big focus this year was staying in the moment, and we really pushed through and we brought it out. I think just the cheers and the crowd, I think everything just like really brought me into it, and like it was like this is our moment. Like we can do this and we can win it.
Once again, Premier Championship Rings is an official sponsor for Premier Preps. And we've wrapped up the section girls volleyball finals, so you know what that means. It's time to get fitted for those championship rings. Visit premiergradproducts.com or scan the QR code here to get in touch with my friend Bob Sebring, who's helped customize amazing championship rings for several title teams right here in the Sac-Joaquin section for more than 30 years. Be sure to contact Bob with Premier Championship Rings, the choice of champions. And here are this year's Sac-Joaquin Section champions in the race for the ring, presented by Premier Championship Rings.
In a rematch of last year's D1 final, St. Mary's defeats Rockland to go back-to-back and win its 14th section championship. In D2, the Vacaville Bulldogs take down top-seeded Christian Brothers to bring home the program's first blue banner since 2002. To Division III, the Vanden Vikings hold down the number 1 seed and hold off Roseville in the finals. It's the second blue banner for the Vikings. Their first came in 2018. Ripon has been to the D4 finals for 3 straight years, and this is their second championship win in that span, beating Liberty Ranch, who had an amazing season with the first finals appearance in program history. In D5, Bradshaw Christian goes back-to-back at the D5 level after beating Bear River last year. The Pride takes down Big Valley Christian for the program's 3rd overall banner. And in Division 6, for the 4th time in school history, the blue banner goes to the Vacaville Christian Falcons, who bring down the defending champion Stone Ridge Christian Knights, who had won 3 of the past 5 D6 crowns. Congrats to all section champions. Don't forget to celebrate like a champion and look up Premier Championship Rings by visiting premiergradproducts.com.
Once again, LENIE'S Pictures is the official photography sponsor for Premier Preps. And now that the fall sports seasons are wrapping up, the winter sports season is almost here. And that's a perfect time for you to book your team photo packages through LENIE'spictures.com. Not only do they provide great service, but they'll have your school looking amazing with all of the custom-made team and individual banners that you may need. Visit LENIE'Spictures.com and don't forget to use the promo code NP7 for $7 photo downloads exclusively through Premier Preps. Now let's take a look at the Premier Preps Big Picture Top 10 Girls Volleyball Rankings presented by LENIE'S Pictures.
LENI'S Pictures is your go-to site for priceless photos and memorabilia. This local family business has captured great action shots for a decade, but there's so much more to offer with a personalized touch for team and individual photos, game day galleries, banners, yard signs, festive mementos for senior nights, team banquets, or even just to cheer your kid on at their games, all 100% custom made by LENI'S Pictures, any student, any season, any occasion. So make those memories last forever and visit LENI'Spictures.com and use the promo code NP7 for $7 photo downloads exclusively through Premier Preps. That's LENI'Spictures.com, your official photography sponsor for Premier Preps.
Infinite Performance Physical Therapy brings you our Plays of the Week every week here on Premier Preps. Are you in need of rehab from an injury? Do you want to learn new ways to prevent further injury? Or do you just want sports-specific training to keep you performing at peak levels? Then Dr. Janae Young at Infinite Performance Physical Therapy has you covered. She's got some amazing programs to help keep you on track. Hey, don't forget to send me your Plays of the Week candidates each week on social media. Just tag me with a short clip, let me know what's going on with the play, and we'll see if we can get you on the show. If you've got a play, we want to highlight you. And here's who we're highlighting this week in our Infinite Performance Plays of the Week.
All right, we've got two from the Woodcreek Armijo game that we had this week. And we start with Tanner McSweeney, who goes 91 yards on a kickoff return. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? I don't know where that came from. I just heard Pink Floyd on the drive home, and I thought it worked. Later on in this game, we've got sophomore Trace Murchison with the magnets for hands. I don't know how he comes down with this one, but it all worked out well for Woodcreek. 56-33 winners. We go to the D4 flag finals. Houston receiver Presley Wells doesn't let this touchdown pass slip through her fingers. The Huskies are your Division 4 section champs. To the D1 volleyball final, St. Mary's. McKenna McIntosh had 38 kills in the championship game, but it was the hustle play that kept this point alive and puts her in the Plays of the Week countdown. The Rams go back-to-back, by the way. And the D1 flag football final, a thrill of a finish between Oak Ridge and Del Oro, and the Golden Eagles go back-to-back thanks to this go-ahead touchdown from Bella Von Seipler. And that, friends, is our Infinite Performance Play of the Week.
That's it for episode 12 of Premier Preps. Thank you so much for tuning in every week. Please be sure to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and follow along on social media. You are what helps me keep this region covered in a way that it deserves. We continue our playoff football coverage next week along with NorCal volleyball action, and we'll also be announcing the winner of our 1-year anniversary giveaway this week on social media, so be sure to keep your eyes on the prize. That's it for me. I'm Nick Pecoraro. We will see you next week.